Get ready. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Chairman, Your Excellencies, gentlemen, on this happy occasion, I should like, first of all, to thank the governments of the Soviet Union, the United States, and the United Kingdom for having invited me to be present here at this historic ceremony. I regard this gracious gesture more than anything else as an expression by the three governments of their deep faith and confidence in the United Nations and all that it stands for. In the situation that confronts humanity today with the accelerating arms race and with no significant abatement in mutual suspicion and mistrust, any agreement between the major powers is a significant event. What makes this present occasion a truly historic one is the fact that today, for the first time, we are witnessing an important and I have no doubt a significant breakthrough in a protracted and seemingly frustrating negotiations that have been conducted in the field of disarmament over the years. The agreement has been made possible by the statesmanship and courage displayed by the leaders of the three powers and equally by the untiring and devoted efforts of their able negotiators, to all of whom I extend my sincere and hearty felicitations. It is my earnest hope that in the same spirit of accommodation and understanding that characterized the recent negotiations, every effort will be made now to reach agreement on the discontinuance of all test explosions of nuclear weapons for all times. This is clearly emphasized by the preamble to the present treaty itself and is devoutly hoped and prayed for by people all over the world. The agreement signed today will not eliminate the risk of war, only general and complete disarmament, only establishment of adequate and effective international machinery for maintaining peace will achieve this. This thought has no doubt prompted the signatories of this treaty to proclaim in its preamble that their principal aim is the speediest possible achievement of an agreement on general and complete disarmament under strict international control in accordance with the objectives of the United Nations. However, as a three-power communique so rightly puts it, the present agreement constitutes an important first step towards the reduction of international tension and strengthening of peace. Although the test ban issued had virtually monopolized the agenda of the successive sessions of the General Assembly of the United Nations, other equally important measures aimed at the relaxation of tension have been repeatedly brought up for discussion. I should like to refer briefly to some of them, but the order in which I shall deal with these measures will not, I hope, be construed in any way as an indication of priority of their relative importance. First, there is the question of the wider dissemination of nuclear weapons. Repeatedly, the General Assembly has referred to the danger of the use of nuclear weapons and called upon all the member countries to make efforts to achieve a permanent international agreement subject to inspection and control on the prevention of the wider dissemination of this weapon of mass destruction. It is significant that while the resolution of the General Assembly places a special responsibility on the nuclear powers to refrain from relinquishing control of such weapons to others not possessing them, they recognize at the same time that the countries not possessing nuclear weapons have a great interest and an important part to play, which they could do by refraining from manufacturing or otherwise acquiring such weapons and further by refusing to receive such weapons in their territories. The problem of the means of delivering nuclear weapons is an equally important one. There are proposals for limiting the production of delivery systems and for the destruction of all but an agreed limited number in the early stage of an agreed program of general disarmament. It is my earnest hope that this important issue will receive further consideration by all the parties concerned with a view to reaching a satisfactory solution. The problem of surprise attack has also figured in the past in debates of the United Nations. Proposals made during recent weeks could lead to the early renewal of surprise attack talks, which have been adjourned since December 1958. I would also hope that the proposal initiated as early as the beginning of 1961 for convening a special conference for signing a convention of the prohibition of the usage of nuclear and thermonuclear weapons for war purposes will now receive wider support. Finally, I would like to mention the problem of denuclearized zones in different geographical areas. Obviously, the initiative must come from the countries in the regions, as has been the case in respect of Africa and Latin America. But it is equally clear that the proposals must have the support and the backing of the nuclear powers themselves. I should like to express my earnest hope that such support will be forthcoming. Your Excellencies, I have touched upon only some of the more important measures that are detected at further relaxation of existing tensions. Two measures, Crompton Engineering Company, Madras. Dear sirs, there are 4 points that you must bear in mind during the next fortnight. We hear from a reliable source that Messrs. Blackie Limited are making enquiries in your district and that they may decide to buy property for business purposes. The statement is that they will reach a definite decision at the end of this week. Please do your best to keep in touch with these developments and let us have at once any information that will prove of service. As desired by you, we have been in direct communication with Messrs. Mahindra and Mahindra, but unfortunately, we have not brought matters to a successful conclusion. They think that if you call upon them, they will be able to make a suggestion, details of which they say can be far more satisfactorily communicated to you than expressed in a letter to us. We have promised them that they will hear from you early next week. Please get in touch with them soon and endeavor to reach a settlement. We have had a letter not very long ago from Mr. Arthur of Calcutta. He is an exceptionally well qualified young man of 23 years of age, and we think that he may be useful to you. We enclose his application and a copy of our reply. You will notice that you will have to write to him not later than the 12th November. Our suggestion is that you ask him to see you. This will give you an opportunity to estimate his suitability for the vacant post. Messrs. Webster Brothers have sent us the enclosed complaint on Monday last. We have made investigations and think that they are entirely unjustified in the attitude they have adopted. You will notice that their second letter is not only strongly worded but insolent, and it is improbable that we shall be able to deal satisfactorily with them in view of their attitude. Therefore, we shall be glad if you will carry out the further investigations suggested by us and then try to fix up an interview with Mr. Webster, representative of this firm. Yours faithfully. Stop.